St. Louis sports fans, go deeper with STL Sports Central Insiders. Get exclusive access to Bernie, Randy, Claves, Jamal Mayers, and more, plus your chance to watch a Blues game in the alumni box with Jamal himself. Monthly giveaways, Bernie's columns all week, and support for local sports media. Join now at stlsportscentral.com. The Cardinals made a move this weekend, signing Dustin May to a one-year deal with a one-year option on top of that. So, figured today, Brendan Schaeffer and I would talk about where he fits in on the Cardinals rotation on this edition of Card Central 365. We're brought to you by DraftKings, where the crown is yours. And Brendan, Dustin May is one of those names where, you know, you and I were texting about it Saturday and Sunday. He seemed to fit exactly what the Cardinals were looking for in filling holes in the rotation. And you and I did a show, I think it was around November 10th, and I could have sworn that we mentioned Dustin May in that. I went back and listened to it, read the transcript of it in case I missed it. And I think we mentioned every single other pitcher that was a comp to Dustin May except Dustin May. I don't know how you and I missed on that, but we somehow did.
No, I guess we didn't maybe name him directly, but I think the archetype maybe is the word to use of what the Cardinals could be looking for, should be looking for, and evidently were looking for is very much in the Dustin May category. Like, you think about a big arm, you think about a guy that had a lot of prospect pedigree that people were very excited about for his years in Los Angeles with the Dodgers for so long, could not stay healthy, right? So you are still kind of buying him potentially on the way back up. He has been around the block so many times that he's eligible for free agency, was traded to Boston. Last year was honestly his healthiest year of his career. He started 23 games between the Dodgers and the Red Sox and pitched 132 and a third innings. Was not quite a strikeout per inning guy, 123 Ks and 132 innings, but got through the year for more or for better or worse, and now has an opportunity maybe to build upon that with the Cardinals. I don't mind at all going after somebody who, did he pitch great last year? No, 4.96 ERA, but you're really looking for, and not to say this in like a demeaning way, but quantity over quality is maybe not the worst way to think about this, especially if some from that crop of quantity have the notion of upside attached. Like, at some point or another, Dustin May was considered to be a potential frontline starting pitcher. Will he become that? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't think the Cardinals even need him to become that in order for this to be an effort and a decision and a move that makes a lot of sense for where the Cardinals are at. Throw arms at the situation, get as many of them in this kind of caliber of character into spring training, and hopefully you come up with at least 5 that you feel decent about filling out a rotation. That's the strategy that I think you can deploy to make sure the bottom does not drop out of your starting rotation, while also maybe getting a little creative and going after a guy with, again, I would still say he has upside. He's got to be healthy. There's a lot of boxes you would have to check, but on a low-risk proposition, this is a type of move that I feel like Cardinals fans had been clamoring and wishing to see John Mozeliak's front office make. And always they were more on the conservative side of the moves. Like, instead of getting the guy who you might be throwing however many $1 million they're paying him into a blender because he's not healthy or he's not productive, they would prefer to go for like the Lance Lynn, the Kyle Gibson, where you know that you're not going to get nothing for your investment, but the upside is going to be capped on that for those types of veteran arms. I feel like Dustin May is kind of the opposite of what we have seen the Cardinals go for in these types of free agency moves. And I'm really eager to see if this one happens to pan out.
One of the names that I was told that they kind of look at this Dustin May signing, they hope that it turns into, is a name that Cardinal fans are going to be more than familiar with, is the career trajectory of Michael Wacha and what we've seen of him over the last handful of years. You saw him, start off red hot, all of this hype and everything surrounding him, and then it fell off. He's bounced around a couple places, and it seems like he's landed on his feet right now with the Royals, signing a bit of signing a contract, not a multi-year contract with them, and being a stable piece in that rotation now as he I believe enters his age 34 season. So you look at where things went with that, and you kind of look, okay, Dustin May, it's kind of has, as you said, bounced around a little bit last year, started the most games he's started in his career. Let's see what we can do 2 years after the Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, I think the fact that you're getting him off of a season where he did actually pitch is an upside. I don't believe we know, or it's been reported, the exact dollar amounts. So, like, there's still some room for us to look back at that and go, oh my gosh, they overpaid. I just don't really expect it to be in that category. And anything that's only a 1-year commitment, as far as the guarantees go, I'm sure if there's an option there, there's going to be a little bit of a buyout. But that's a perfect fit. Because also, let's say he does pan out. He's healthy, he's pitching well, and he's pitching so well that you go, man, we're not going to end up signing him long term. Like, he's going to be priced out for us for what we're looking to do in 2027. Like, maybe we're not quite ready to say the team's close enough that we're going to be spending big on a multi-year commitment for a player like this. You can also flip it at the deadline. Like, you can get good production out of him if he's really performing well, but your team is kind of, lagging behind a little bit. There'll be teams that'll be interested in going, oh, you did the work for us, like, to figure out, is Dustin May back? And for 4 months, we saw that he is. We'll be happy to give you some prospects for the stretch run, because we're trying to make the playoffs, or we're trying to win a World Series. So I think contractually it's a great fit, pending understanding exactly the value of it. But I'm pretty comfortable that that's going to be fine. And I think stylistically, with a player that, again, there's this notion that you're buying him on the low and that he's about to show you more than what he has previously shown, because, again, maybe this was the year where he was as healthy as he's been, and so you're kind of getting that foundation together, and now he can maybe divert back and show you a little bit more of what's in the tank for him. I'm not saying all these things will happen. He might show up and pitch to a 4.9 ERA just like he did last year, Joe. And if he does that over 25 starts, that's better than Pallante, right? Like, that's better than what you got out of him this year. You have options now that if you show up to spring training and a couple of these guys get hurt, or one or two of them kind of looks like a dud during February, and you're not really sure it makes sense to throw that guy right into your starting five at the big leagues, you've got additional options, which I think is exactly what Chaim Bloom had said he was going to attempt to do, and now we are seeing him do it. I think it's been a very transparent process, and they've gone about filling out some of these needs in a way that feels pretty efficient, and it has a little bit of intrigue behind it as well.
Yeah, the age on him too. 28 years old right now. So when you look at, if you're going to sit here and you're going to say they're not going to be good again till 28, 29, the age does seem like it's it's there to be there at the back end of the rebuild and to be part of everything by the time he's about 32.
Well, he's not signed, though, so I don't know that the age factors in too terribly much, because I wouldn't expect, unless it just goes really well and the team is maybe a little bit ahead of schedule, and you say, hey, we'll rip up that option year and we'll sign you to a multi-year extension because we're ready to commit financially to what our next core is going to look like. There is a realm in which that happens. But I think the flexibility of this move is what I like about it so much. It could go that direction if it goes well. It could go the direction of trade and get a haul for him if it goes well. There was a point in time where the Kansas City Royals signed Aroldis Chapman to be an eighth-inning reliever for them on a one-year contract, and they traded him at the deadline for Cole Reagans. Like, there are moves that could be made off of this, even if the Cardinals' trajectory is not there, to have May included in their, the long-term nature of their rebuild. You've got optionality here, which I really think is a lot of fun.